real thoughts, real trades, real journey. A video journal documenting the lessons learned on my journey to becoming a disciplined trader. Welcome to Trading the Journey. I'm Neil, and today I want to share a trading day that taught me one important lesson. Let's see what the market had to teach me. So, this is probably one of my better trading days where I executed properly as best as I can, and I managed this trade the way I should have managed it, according to the rules that I had put in place to maximize my profits. So this trade revolved around the fences trade, where, and of course this comes from a guy named Steven Adams. I take no credit for coming up with this. Steven Adams, you can go look him up on YouTube at Trading the Edge, or Trade the Edge, something like that. But the trade, as you can see, I have the fence drawn, and the bar closed outside the fence, which is the first part. It came back inside, but then it cleared outside. It closed outside. So the reason why I got in late here was because there was a little bit of lag with the software. As soon as it's closed, I did hit the sell button to go short. So it was a little bit of a lag there, which was okay. I got in as soon as I could, didn't hesitate, and my stop was right here above this swing high right here. That was the most logical stop I could find. And my bias for the day was bearish. The previous day was bullish. The overnight gap down and reversed about 1:30 a.m. and it grinded up until just after 1 a.m. I got that time wrong, as a matter of fact. It's not 1 a.m. It grinded up right about 1:30 a.m. So that's actually when it started grinding up. And then in pre-market, it started turning over a little bit and started coming down. It broke its it broke its structure on the uptrend and came down, pulled back right before the market opened. And then it did this nice little pullback and then dumped. So so I started watching it closely. I had the bias as bearish. So yeah, I was, I was looking for a good play on this. The 5-minute chart formed a power bar, but I did not go in on that. It rejected off the previous day low. It tested the pre-market low a couple of times, and it turned to the downside on the 2-minute chart, as you can see here. I got in, had my stop. I tried to time, like I said, I tried to time the open. It was a great trade overall still. That big bear candle is what really sold me on getting into this trade, what I was looking for. They were just, the bears and the bulls were just fighting it on the way down, and you saw this inverted hammer right here. It was a bloodbath for the bulls. I mean, they got swatted down. So what I did was I got in on the trade. I was waiting for it to close below my the one-to-one trade risk reward. It did that, and so I moved my stop right below where I entered to cover commissions and a couple of dollars here and there. And then I was waiting for it to close on or below 1.5 times my risk versus reward. And it did that. So I've moved my stop. As soon as it closed, I moved my stop up to my 1-to-1 line here, and I ended up getting stopped out. What's interesting about this is that it came up all the way up to the 20 SMA, down, up above, all, you know, and it never hit my stop at that point. And then it dumped all the way down to my 2R mark, which is quite hilarious. But it just goes to show you never know what the market's going to do. You can only execute and manage your trade as best as you can according to the rules of your trade. And I say your trade because everybody trades differently. Everybody's going to have their own little set of rules. So the market was really telling me to manage this trade as best as I can. And that's what I did. And even though if I had stayed in this trade and not managed it and let the stop go, it would have been actually a winner to my 2R. But how would I know that? I had to play by the rules, and my rules currently are move this once it closes on or past my 1, move the stop up. 1.5, move the stop up. 2, move the stop, and so forth. Unless I'm taking profits at 2R, which is what I typically do. And so, as you can see, it grinded up. It kept pulling back, grinding up. I was looking for another play, and I just decided to shut it down for the day. I tested out a couple of plays on my sim account, including this one right here. See, I took a trade on my sim account here, where this was a reversal play, typically a reversal, but got stopped out. I took another play somewhere along here, and it reached 1-to-1, but then it stopped me out at break even. And then I took this one here. I took a trade right around just after 11:30 and got a really good trade out of that. And it was just to test out reversal plays is all, where I could potentially have, catch reversals for a good trade. But as you can see, for the day, the market grinded down, and the session is now closed, obviously. But overall, I mean, it was a great trade. I have no, I have no emotion on this whatsoever, really. I can feel my heart pounding just a little bit, but not really much to sway my decision to break any rules. So, and that's what I'm working on during this next phase here. These next 20 trades is working on execution and management. I think I got the execution part of it pretty good. I'm learning to read the market, and sometimes I'm wrong on the bias, but for the most part, I feel like I can read it pretty well. But my execution on my trades have been spot on. My management part of the trade needs a lot of work. But this was a perfect example of I managed the trade the way I should have been managing the entire time. So yeah, it was a good day today. Even though I didn't get my 2R, it was a great day today. So thank you for joining me for today's lesson. The market is voted and today's lesson is written. I hope something from today's trade helps you on your own journey towards becoming a more disciplined trader. If today's trade reminded you of something you've experienced yourself, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed today's journal entry, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button on that video and subscribe to follow the journey. Until next time, real thoughts, real trades, real journey.